Hello, and welcome back to the Birds on Powerlines podcast. And we are continuing with this podcast, a series of podcasts that we had looking at or discussing Sandman Season 2. So this would be our fourth. We are now doing episodes 10, 11, and 12. Mm-hmm. And we have three other podcasts. First on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And we also have audio podcasts from a while ago where we were going over Sandman Season 1. Yeah. And we got to episode 6 of that. Mm-hmm. So if you like this kind of thing, please look for those. And if you are new to the Birds on Powerlines podcast, we typically discuss fandoms. We watch stuff together, and then we go back and we reflect on those ideas, and then we come back and we have a podcast on what we were thinking about. Mm-hmm. And we don't usually know what each other were thinking. We try not to express too much while we're watching, and then later on, because we both do this, and then we'll spend like days talking about whatever it is we just watched, which is why we started podcasting. So and we have other podcasts if you've never listened to us before on Doctor Who, Star Wars, other things, some trips. Anything else to add?
No. Let's get into it.
Yeah, let's get into it. Oh, yeah. We just so you know, we are also on audio. And if you are listening on audio, we're on YouTube. Look for Birds on Powerlines podcast. And it comes out every second Tuesday of the month. Right? Yeah. Okay, that's it. So, so do you want to go first this time? Or did I go first last time?
I think I went first, so why don't you start?
You go first on this one?
Yeah.
Okay, so Sandman Season 2, Episode 10 or 21, depending on how you calculate that. Mm-hmm. And the episode is called Long Live the King.
Oh.
So at the end of the last podcast, I was at the point where I was like, I don't think I can watch anymore because it was just so depressing. So we decided that we were going to do this, so I forced myself to watch the last 3 episodes. I'm glad I did, but it's a hard watch. Just so that you know, I've never read the comics. This one has. So if you've not heard the other podcast, we were talking about how I only know what I see on the show. So I don't know about what might happen or what might, so it was really hard to watch. And usually when I start watching things like that, I stop.
Oh, do you?
I
have to finish no matter how bad it is.
It's like really hard. So
usually if I start something, then I can't. I have to finish it.
Yeah,
even if it takes me like years.
It's like he's gonna die. But anyways, so here we go. Episode 10. So in the last episode, I had some pretty strong feelings about Lyta Hall. Don't like her. Mm-hmm. I was expressing how I felt that that character was just sort of following the emotional female trope, and I started off here saying I still have the same feelings toward the character of Lyta Hall. Okay. So I still have those feelings, and just so you know, we're doing it episode by episode, so I might change how I feel about that by the time we get to the last episode, or the second last episode in this case. But anyways, at this point, at the end of watching episode 11, I still felt that way. It's like a stereotype character. But you were right. We were talking about where was Barnabas.
Oh, yeah.
And this one had said, Barnabas is probably with Hetty, and that's exactly where he was. So, yeah, you were right. Yeah. So I wrote that down. You were right about Hetty.
He has all the dogs.
Yeah, and I was like, oh, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. He's probably with Hetty. And it's probably the dog that's running around the mattress.
Yeah, I wasn't sure, actually.
We didn't go back and look. Yeah. If we had gone back and looked, we would have seen that was definitely Barnabas. Glad when Nuala chopped off her head. Okay. But somehow when she wakes up, she still doesn't get it. So that was sort of the irritating thing. So now, because now her son is really gone. Like if you get rid of Dream, you're gonna have a problem getting your son back. Like I don't know why this was not like anyways. Again, this is it's not the actress, it's just my frustration with that character and how she was written. I don't know if she was written quite, and you were saying in comic book she wasn't quite
there were so many things mindless. That were changed that they kind of tried to translate the main, they tried to translate the main plot beats onto the screen, but with the removal of other things, and then also the fact it just didn't translate very well.
Yeah, so I think that's sort of it was of course now you're gonna have trouble getting your son anyway, so that comes out in the next episode. Confused a little bit about how Hetty is threatening Dream by suggesting he'd have to explain to Daniel about what happened to his mother, but actually it's sort of irrelevant because he had a plan for Daniel anyways, and he wouldn't have had to do you know what I mean? He was gonna take over anyways. Because he knew that wasn't how it was gonna happen.
I was taking it to mean that if he killed Lyda and basically raised Daniel in the dreaming, it would be confusing for Daniel until he found out. I guess he would eventually find out. I don't know
because Daniel is gonna be him. He has his memory, so it's it's not that simple. It's not you're gonna raise this person and they're gonna not.
But I'm kind of thinking a little bit more. It's because he's still human. Daniel is still or at least he was human, and this really driven.
Well, at this point, he's not human at all.
Either way, it's really driven home a lot that humans have free will, or something that's connected to humanity has free will, whereas the endless themselves kind of don't.
Well, he's going to lose his free will.
I don't know, but the thing is, he is special because he was human.
Yeah, not for very long though.
Yeah, but he was.
This is sort of the paradox that I'm dealing with. I mean, it's not like it's different if he was human and then became an endless, and he did so as an adult, or
No, yeah, but I guess that would be what would happen.
That's what he had planned, but
yeah.
So it doesn't quite make sense to me, but so then I added, if I'm understanding, since Daniel was given life in the dreaming, then part of dream is in Daniel.
Yeah, I guess
his life is separate from the rest of him.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's cut. Yeah,
okay. I wasn't honestly not thinking very much.
And again, I've done this before. I started overthinking it, so I should just suspend my disbelief. But it was just you're threatening an endless, it's just yeah. So I was just anyhow. My favorite scene was when Dream and Death touch each other. So Death.
It's the whole hand.
That whole thing. Mm-hmm. And so in that way, I also feel that Death is renewing herself as well. They're kind of. You know what I mean? So Dream as well. So maybe that's why Death is. Maybe this is why Death is the most normal, because she relates to what's happening.
She meets each and every person.
Yeah.
Ever.
And this got me thinking, right? So, but then Dream must know what they're dreaming too, because they must dream.
Sure, but I didn't.
Do you know what I mean?
I feel like he's it would be.
They're all connected to each other. Yeah.
No,
but that's sort of I was kind of because then I really started thinking about how each of them they all have desires, and Desire would know what each of their desires were.
Sure. Yeah.
Right. And then meanwhile Dream would know everything that Desire was dreaming about. Do you know what I mean? They're because they do, right?
Yeah,
they have their own wants.
They all are related to each other.
But they're siblings on a deeper level, right? Do you know what I mean? You can, you can have a sibling and that's another person but they know, and this is sort of what when it came to. The next episode is that they should know each other more intimately than they seem to. This is sort of but anyways, we'll get into that. I was just thinking about it a little bit more deeply now, just thinking about it.
Okay.
While I'm talking to you about it, and I'm there is this thing they are family, but they're part
they're
of
very they're autonomous.
They're autonomous, but they're still connected. In a way that normal siblings aren't. And that's why I would think that they would understand each other at a deep but maybe that's what's happening at the very end, at the very end of the thing that they anyways we'll get to that. thinking about it now. So, and then it's pouring rain. And all of the weather in dreaming is connected to his emotions, right? So he's in like complete despair, and that comes back to despair.
Yeah.
And how I really enjoyed that scene between Dream and Despair in the last episode. He really is done. Like, and you get this feeling, and I think out of all of them, he feels the most trapped by his job. And I'm going to talk about that more because he takes his job so seriously. And I think that, again, that's because of his parents. But, and I'm going to come back to that. But, you know, and then I keep coming back to this idea. Did Loki, in a way, do Dream a favor by getting rid of Daniel's humanity? And I'm kind of like, I don't think that Dream intended for him to do that. Yeah. But in a way, I have a feeling that
was what directly enabled. Well, no, but the thing, I don't know. I don't think he did. Because if he hadn't done that, then
he would still be human,
yeah,
right? I mean,
then none of this would have happened. Lyta wouldn't have just been like, you killed my son.
Well, I don't know, because even though I think she still thought that, because I think that the Furies sort of manipulated her to thinking that her son was lost to her, so therefore he's dead. Because she was like, is my son dead? Well, he's not reachable to you. Like, do you know what I mean? Like he
yeah, but like
they manipulated that.
Loki / detective, whatever his name was, like showed her the picture of. Dead
yeah, but
Daniel.
Dead. So that's why I'm like, but no, but that still doesn't change the fact that he might have, in a way, did Dream a favor.
No, he didn't do Dream a favor. The whole point of him doing this
because
was that he was not
Lyta
doing
after him. But the thing is that now he's even more powerful than he would have been. Like, you know, so that's what Loki was saying. He's just like, now he's going to be.
But Daniel would have been anyway.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, anyways, I'm just thinking about it because now he's like literally godlike, right? Where he wasn't before.
Yeah, but like he would have grown into that.
I don't know.
I
don't know. I don't know. I'm just.
I don't think so. I don't think
you don't think so?
No.
Like, I have a feeling yes, but
no.
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. If you're listening to this and you have an opinion on that, let me know. Like, I know that sets him up for his own death from Lyta Hall, but in a way, I think that it sort of does the whole situation.
Well, no, the problem is by burning away Daniel's humanity, basically, like essentially, Loki almost like forced the fact that like he almost forced him to be like baby and then adult like in a matter of
but then that even goes back to the last episode, or not the second last episode, where Lucian says that you're partly human, and then you're like, but no, he's not. Anyways, again, I'm overthinking it. I know it. Okay, and then what I think is like really cool was the Corinthian protecting Daniel the whole time. He's like, you're not going to touch this.
I thought that was funny.
I just like Death shows up. Oh, you're not touching this one. He just, do you want me to hold? No. Let me hold him. I'm his sort of aunt, sort of in a way, sort of, but not really. But you know, like let me hold. No. So that protective feature of the Corinthian. So I really like.
Interesting.
I really like the new Corinthian. I just think the whole thing is funny. It brings in like a level of humor that isn't there. But yeah, so okay, so Lyta Hall, and then the opening. Okay, the opening right away. We have the death of Abel, and Merv. So this is why I'm like, still trying to get myself to go through this. So going back to the beginning of that, you know, and Abel, of course, like she kills like basically the nicest person.
Yeah.
You know, like this is the guy
Gilbert. Basically,
well, you know,
but sure,
but Abel is sort of like
honestly, what really
almost like a puppy, right?
Almost
like
what got me was like that, like you can't kill me, you don't even love me, and then, like that was honestly was really sad. I thought that was very sad.
Yeah. You know, I you know,
but
really,
yeah.
So the Fates. I also like the. I don't know who said that. What was it? The Fates. The Fates said that. Well, the Fates. The Furies. I call them the Fates, but they called themselves Revenge.
Sure. Mm-hmm.
And I started thinking about that because you know the Endless are all aspects of humanity, right? Mm-hmm. So in the way the Furies are too, right? Because Revenge is part of that.
Sure. Yeah.
So it's just kind of a. I just found that kind of like a weird kind of, it doesn't start with a D, but yeah, it's still another aspect of humanity that, you know, if they're not there, somebody else is going to have their function, right? Mm-hmm. Does that make sense? So it's just something that I was thinking about when they said they're not an endless, but it's a similar concept, right? Mm-hmm. So there was that. So I said my favorite scene. Yeah, so I think that was really all I had written down about this. Ironically, I mean, the whole thing was like, my favorite scene. They're when they touch, but then there's that whole bit, the whole conversation, and I mean, one could go in for pages and pages of notes thinking about the significance of everything that we were saying to each other, and Matthew being there, and I'm going to come back to Matthew in the next episode.
These are all things I wrote down, about mentioning.
Okay, that same thing. You don't have any other things?
Huh? No. I meant like the things that you were just saying are things that I had written down to.
Okay,
mention.
all right. Yes. So let's. All right. So you do your turn, and then we'll go on.
Yeah. Yeah. So the first thing I wrote down was that Merv's. I'm your worst nightmare. I'm a pumpkin with a gun. That thing. That was exactly like shot for shot from the comics. I loved that. I thought that was hilarious. I really liked the delivery of that. That was very. I mean, of course, I don't like what happened after, but.
So I had read somewhere online that what he died from was his own bullets. Is that true? So they had some sort of protection around themselves and then bounced off of them, or
because the bullets came from behind him. So like, what I was thinking was, I don't know. They might have just manipulated reality in some way. Because
I was a little bit confused about how they did that.
I'm not sure, but.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, and I wrote down that the lighting, actually, I really noticed it this episode in particular.
Oh, I wrote that. Okay.
Oh, what?
Next episode is even better. Okay. It's just like, because that's something I pay attention to.
Okay.
I already said that.
Whatever.
If this is your first podcast you're listening to, I'm going on about the lighting and actually the costuming too. But we're the lighting.
Yeah. Anyway, I just noticed because like it was like very, very dark whenever we were in the dreaming, like so dark that like I was honestly very surprised that like some of the characters, like even like Matthew, like literally
that's what I mean.
Really, I was surprised they were able to show him on
and it was so
screen.
dark because it's a reflection on
sure.
him.
But then by contrast, like within Fairy, where even like the like crazy pale like tomsturrage, he actually looked like he had like a little bit of color. Like he actually looked like more normal, and it was like it was interesting. I guess they filters.
But when he arrived, he arrived there in the last episode.
Yeah, but he didn't look like that.
But there was this
exactly.
The moment where he showed his fury as to being pulled away from there. That was in the last episode, and in this episode. They show him he has some color, but he's you can see that he's in sort of shock kind of thing, like in a way, I guess. He's now he knows it's like this is it, like you know what I mean? Maybe. It's just like, and they didn't do it on purpose, and he says he says I know you didn't do this to me on purpose, but
but anyway, I just noticed that it looked different comparing those two locations. And actually, like a side note, I don't know why I noticed this. I really like the inside of the door, like the pattern on the inside of the door of the
castle.
Yeah.
I didn't pay attention to the.
I don't know.
I recognize the pattern. Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know what the pattern was, but I don't know. I just like the little like raised. Okay. I don't know. I liked how texture. It has texture. I liked it, and I liked the CGI with the Guardians of the Castle.
Oh yeah,
like with the Weirvin and the
and
him like literally you can see like the milky film over the eyes, and then it goes away when he healing them. Yeah, that was really interesting, and it's amazing that they're able to make this stuff like it's obviously it's definitely not real. Yeah, but it's like interesting how it could be.
Yeah, but coming back to that, you can really see that he's had enough. He's just stopped making everyone suffer because of me.
And I'm gonna say later about death doing basically the same thing. Yeah. Leave us alone. That same thing. And I thought it was an interesting shot when Leia was coming in with the three kindly ones, three ladies, whatever, when she was coming into the castle, and we see
they call her their avatar.
Yeah,
it's interesting.
And you can see they're almost controlling her, they literally are controlling her.
He breaks through her.
Yeah, a bit, but because she stops up short when they're like, oh, no, stop, and she clearly wants to move, but she basically can't. But Yeah, I just thought it was an interesting shot that, like, so, like, Dream was, like, of course, in the foreground, and, like, we're seeing him, then we're seeing, what, like, probably, it was Lucien and, I guess, Kane, but then Corinthian is, like, hidden, like, with Daniel, it's hidden behind him until, like, he, like, moves.
Yeah.
And that was interesting. Like, almost like,
That's the
Leda
blocking
can't even
that they
see.
used.
Yeah, it was very interesting. And I really like the part where like Dream was like being like seeing that Leda was being used by like others to achieve their own ends.
Yeah.
That like really, honestly, I just thought that was interesting.
Yeah, that's why, like, and that comes back to what I was talking about, I guess, in the last podcast. Like, I feel, no, it was before that, when she cuts the thread. Like, I almost feel like there's something, they're, like, looking for an opportunity. They have something against him.
Well, the something against him was that he killed his son.
No, even before that, because the one was saying, you know, do you want to, she says, well, he did it because the one Fury was saying, well, he did it because of this. So that one has something against him. Like, it's almost like her vengeance, not even just somebody else's vengeance. But
they're all the same person.
I understand, but they're different natures of the same person, right?
Maybe.
So there's the one was putting some doubt that this might not be the best time. Let's leave it, let it grow. And she says, nope, we're doing this now, right? So there's a I feel like there's a history that we don't know about.
I don't know. Yeah.
That's the feeling that you get watching it.
Oh yeah, I don't know.
They're having too much pleasure in this. Like I
maybe.
Anyways, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah. And, like, honestly, I just kind of felt this, like, even in like the bonus episode, Hetty just kind of annoys me.
Really?
Yeah.
She doesn't annoy me. It's Leda that annoys me. It's interesting that you have a character that annoys you. Like, that's the first time I hear you saying that.
Not really for any particular reason.
Me.
She just I don't know. And I kind of got this with like the character that she basically replaced in the comics, Thessaly. I kind of felt the same way about her. Like, it is
okay.
She just is kind of doing this almost for no reason. Like, I understand, like, she made a deal with the Fates and stuff, and that they're, like, in exchange for, I don't know, like, living for a while and stuff, but I just, she doesn't have to do any of this.
Yeah,
I guess.
Does.
She does. I don't know.
Because I mean, I got the feeling that she's just doing their bidding because she has a deal with them.
Yeah, but, like, I don't know. I don't know. And, like, it's just, the fact that she just showed up to the funeral afterwards, like...
Yeah, that part was weird.
I don't know.
That's the next episode.
I don't know. Yeah, but anyway, I was glad that, like, Dream was able to, like, thank, like, the whole gang, Luciana especially, and say goodbye to them.
Yeah.
I thought it was nice. I thought it was really sweet that, like, Matthew was basically, like, loyal to the very end. He was like, well, wherever you're going, I'm going. Like, will I survive if I come with you? Probably not. Well, let's go then. Yeah, that was nice. That was sweet. I like
Maybe
Matthew.
that's why I feel... Anyways, we'll talk about the next episode.
Okay, and, yeah. So then, I was gonna say that I really liked the whole, like, scene on the tower thingy. I really like the silhouette. Like, they're really doing a lot with the silhouettes, especially there. Mm-hmm. And, like, I know they definitely, like, the people who are shooting, I don't know, they really like their, like, symmetrical scenes. They like their, like, showing the whole scene
because
and the character right in the middle.
Aesthetically pleasing.
I don't know. Yeah, it's
that's
very
the one
nice.
thing
I
about
like
this.
that.
They really put it together.
I like the
in a way to
thing.
make it just a beautiful.
That was nice.
Thing.
I liked that.
Right?
I don't really understand why he threw away his, like, cloak. He threw his cloak off the tower. I didn't really understand why he did that. That seems a bit
I don't know.
random.
I guess he's shedding his. I don't know what he's doing.
Mantle? Shedding his mantle. I don't know. Maybe literally. But
I guess he figures I don't need it anymore. So he's just like. I mean, he could.
I mean, like, I guess
he
probably
could make
like,
it come back.
Practical reasons, it probably would just look really weird, like a big, heavy, sopping wet cloak. But, yeah, and then the one thing
that means that rain is essentially his tears.
Yeah, I guess in the dreaming, but yeah, and then, okay, so my 2 cents about Leda is, like, I just didn't understand why she kept going, because, like, she obviously saw Daniel was there, and she saw that, like, he was there and he was fine, and, like, Dream broke their control over her. But I guess they, like, controls her again. I don't know. But I don't really understand.
That's what I mean.
I don't really understand why
what I mean.
Why
and
the Furies kept going. Because, especially, like, Death literally told them off. It's like, hey, leave us alone between me and my brother. But, like, they just kept going like basically until she told them to
because
leave them alone.
They kept,
but
because
like,
they kept going on destroying
anyway. I just don't really understand what the point of that was.
They kept going on destroying his realm, right?
No, why did they do that? She was literally right there. Like she's obviously she's he's gonna die. Why are you doing this?
Lyta.
Okay, well, I don't know. I feel like more indirectly. I just feel like it's more the thieves. Like why are they just?
That's what I'm saying. They have there's a thing there.
Yeah.
It's illogical to the point that they're.
Sure, maybe. I don't know.
They have their own revenge that they're exacting.
Maybe.
Like that's what I feel like.
Yeah, and
even though he's been very polite to them every time we've seen the interactions, but there must be some, I don't know what it is. Yeah,
and then I was thinking, so my take on the conversation between Dream and Death that they were having like for a while, I was thinking the purpose of that was more like in a like holistic sense was to more explain to us like why he had to die or like why he was dying, because like she was even saying like why don't you just leave, or why you've been much deeper down than this, why are you like why now, and he's just tired. He just said he's tired, and honestly
because
I understand
the difference
that.
is even though
he's changed so much and he's seen a lot
he said he doesn't want to live in a world without a son in it.
Yeah, that's
and
true.
that was the thing. And this and I feel like he's known for centuries that this is how this is going to end.
Yeah. But like,
because he's the only one that could
makes
release
sense.
him.
And I feel like that did a good job of explaining to us. Like, otherwise there'd be like he didn't have to die. Why did he die? I mean, like practical reasons, like so we don't. I guess so we're not tempted to make another like season or something. I don't know.
But I mean, I'm going to come back to this at the funeral. But yeah,
maybe.
The next
yeah,
episode.
I don't know. And I really like the whole like slow motion lighting with the lightning when they were like. I like that. That looks cool. Again, with the silhouettes, that looks cool. And one thing you would not know is that the adult Daniel, like there's like a little like white patch in his hair. That's I feel like that's more than likely a callback to like 'cause in the comics when Dream or Daniel becomes Dream or vice versa, whatever. When he changes like. Apart from just like his like clothing that becomes reversed in white, is also his hair.
Okay.
So I just thought that was interesting, a little like fun little thing. That was it for me for that episode.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So you go into the next episode. It's your turn. So episode
Tale
11, A Tale of Graceful Ends.
And actually, kind of moving on to like the more parallels, I guess. The parallels between like because the Corinthian like mentioned like that like new like dream Daniel dream is almost a bit like him, where it's like he has the memories of his predecessor but he's like a different person. And I thought it was interesting that like both of them, their like color aesthetics like swapped. Like in like the first season, the Corinthian was always like wearing white and whatever, and then now he's like always like like a black getup, whereas like Dream Daniel, yeah, okay, yeah, and then whereas Dream Daniel is now like also swapped. Like I just think it's interesting how both of them like swapped, or the fact that both of them swapped indicated that they're the same person but different. Yeah, I don't know.
And then when Dream brought him back, he kept saying to Lucien, he's not the same.
He's not the same. Yeah, he's different.
He's different.
Yeah, and even like the like Dream's like gem of power or whatever being like the original one is the ruby, but now it's an emerald basically.
Yeah, it's green.
Yeah, it's green. That's interesting. And
but then of course Destruction says his power isn't really resting.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, sure. But the tool. The tool. And I thought that it was like a very good job was done as portraying like the new Dream as both like very like powerful and like regal in a sense, but also kind of confused and childlike, because like he basically was born like a few hours ago pretty much, and like I just thought that was like a good job was done to kind of give that point. Yeah, and I like that. It makes sense because like of course like he's not the same person. Like you can see like a little bit like when he was talking to Abel. Abel. Cain,
because Cain wanted him to bring
when
Abel
he was talking
back.
to Cain, like he was like, oh, I don't take kindly to threats and that type of thing. And so like you can see a little bit of like the old one there, but like his demeanor is different, and it's interesting, and I like it. Like I like the fact that like they kept a little bit, but also changed it and made it his own. And yeah, that Okay. I know you might not agree, but I feel like they're trying really hard to make the Corinthian and Joanna like a thing. It
they didn't have to try hard.
It is a thing, but I just don't like it. I just don't like it. I didn't like it's really funny.
I think they're trying to bring some.
It's really funny, and it's
like
not
a continuation from her great grandmother.
Sure, like it's really funny. I find it funny, and it's not inherently bad, but I just don't like it.
And I think the other thing about this is that the point is like connections.
Yeah, sure, of
right.
course.
So
yeah,
so
there's a reason for that, but I just want to.
But it is funny.
It's hilarious. But
it brings some levity to
so
it.
weird.
I think that's the other thing that it's doing.
I just find it really, really odd.
So that's the other thing. It didn't bother me at all. I thought it was kind of cute that they were doing that.
I wrote that it's so weird, but it's also really endearing. I don't know.
That's why it's like, oh, I like the Corinthian. He's really cool.
Yeah, weird. I don't know. But then the thing that then he was like, oh well, we had some good times together to like romance, and like
that was so funny.
That.
We did
have
like some good times together. He's just like,
is he the same or is he not?
And then he stops and he's like, oh, but we also had some, not good ones, like.
I don't know. Yeah. And like Hob Gatling.
Yeah.
He can't be dead. He was my friend.
He isn't dead.
And then the whole like he's not like my dream, but then he also was like, oh well, if you want to tell me about it in 100 years, let's do that. And like
yeah, his character, I think
he really struggled a lot, but like
I think that character
like
solidifies the whole thing. Like
with the change of dream, but like that I just thought that was really sweet. Like he's like the whole like he's not my dream. Like that was really I liked that. That was cute.
He is and he isn't, but because he doesn't know that yet, which is I think is the interesting thing.
Of course.
And you could see, Daniel dream.
Yeah.
As opposed to Morpheus dream.
Yeah. And like he is the same, and he's also not,
was very happy to see him.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. And I am glad that he like I was slightly worried when he was talking like with Death that like he was gonna be like maybe it's time, but of course not.
I don't know.
Yeah. Anyway, and I noticed like going back to like the like portrayal of a different dream, like Dream Daniel is more ready to like show emotion. Yeah, and I definitely noticed that, and it's like really interesting.
But the thing you could argue is that because he was a
human, yeah.
But I think it also is because he's learned
a different person. Yeah,
well, he's learned from
he's learned. He's learned.
You don't want to do this again, right?
Mm-hmm.
Be who you want to be. Don't try to be what everyone else thinks you should be.
But I think it was interesting that like everyone was very surprised like when he started bringing people back. Like Luciano was like, "What is he doing? He's bringing everyone back." And I thought that was interesting that they were surprised that he was doing that. And the whole like interaction between like I'm just gonna call him Dream. Between Dream and Gilbert. Yeah. That was nice. Of course, like Gilbert, I love Gilbert as a character. He's always like very like.
He's
very,
like, my
very
story's
wise.
done.
Very wise, yeah. Like, what are you doing? I am dead. Let me be dead. But also the whole thing about Lord Morpheus wouldn't have apologized. So like, you're obviously different, and also like he died for like the love of his son and his kingdom and stuff. So bringing him back also on top of like bringing everyone back, bringing him back especially would mean like everything was for nothing. Nothing would have changed. Yeah,
like everything that he suffered.
But then honestly, I'm wondering like, is that even possible to bring him back? Could he have done that? I don't know. Maybe. But
I don't know because it's sort of part of him.
Yeah. Like I feel like the answer to that would probably be no. Like,
I don't
because
know.
Because death. I mean, of course, death repeatedly says you can't bring people back.
But he's not a person. He's an endless.
No, but she took him. But death took him. Yeah, so I feel like it's
interesting.
Yeah, I feel like no, but
and that whole thing with the shroud is interesting.
Yeah, I was gonna say that. Actually.
Sorry.
That was my next point after this one.
Do they do that in the comics?
I don't remember.
That's interesting.
I don't remember.
It's an interesting effect.
I don't remember. But I did like going back to Matthew again and like things directly coming back from the comics. The whole like Matthew's like, oh, here's destiny, desire, despair, and dog.
Yeah, that's a pretty funny.
That was funny. I like that. Yeah. That brought a bit of like levity to it.
And the sarcasm of Matthew is the other aspect of it.
Yeah, and like the thing is like he's clearly also like very like affected by this. Like he's very hurting by like he's hurt a lot by
like
what happened.
Something I was going to bring up is that out of all of them, he seems to reject the new dream
the most.
Yeah, and it's just like,
which is interesting because like technically he's been around for the shortest time.
Yeah, but I mean, he's the one that is supposed to be his.
I guess, yeah. He's like,
I don't know, not
Barnabas.
a familiar, but
his Barnabas.
But he's
yeah.
You know, and it's like, you know, what is the purpose of my existence if he's not here?
Yeah, that makes sense.
You know, and
like he
and
died,
I think, and he had a front row seat to a lot of the
and really, I guess he must.
He
was the only one who like was originally human before. Like
yes,
that we know. Like we don't know about.
Lucian, that I don't know, but from what I know from watching the show, yeah,
he's the only. Yeah, I don't know. Interesting. Like he could have just died because he did, but. So
maybe that's also why he's not worried about dying again because he's already done it.
Maybe the next thing I was going to say.
But then it would death have come to get him, or did
Yeah, she did.
But then how did he manage to get him from? Anyways, never mind. I'm overthinking it. I'm overthinking.
Anyway, and so the next thing I was going to say is the shroud was very cool, and like I don't know if I was imagining this or not, but like it's not just some like random like mannequin thing underneath. Like it literally looks like it was. Like it looks like it was shaped like Tom Sturridge. I don't know. Maybe
could have been.
I don't know. Like obviously it's not actually him underneath, but like I feel like it at some points like it literally looks like it could actually like be.
I was almost expecting it to like breathe.
Yeah, no, but see, that's my point. It like, looked very lifelike. For a dead body, it looked like a very lifelike dead body. Yeah, and I just thought that was interesting, and I can't read my next thing.
Yeah, I was just thinking, I don't know how you put all those ideas into that little tiny piece. I don't know. I mean, just for your reference, I've got like a book.
Yeah. And then, like going on to like the family's speeches, I thought it was interesting. So Despair also died. She also like died at some point.
Did she?
Yes, that's what she said in her speech. Like she said she was thinking of like the first Despair, and no one's thought of her in like over like 10,000 years. But she still remembers her, so therefore she's gonna still remember.
Oh,
Dream.
that's what she meant.
Yeah.
See, did they do that in the comics? Did they bring that up?
I don't remember.
Oh,
I honestly don't remember.
See, that was something that I don't understand. Why are they supposed to forget him? I don't understand that.
Maybe like moving on. I don't know.
Like, but they literally said,
like,
"We'll
they
forget."
Clearly have forgotten. But the thing I don't understand is like they clearly. So I guess according to Despair, they've forgotten the first Despair. But then we know that Delirium.
I have to listen to that again.
So I guess Delirium did not die. She just changed.
She changed.
I guess. I don't know. Yeah, and I just really liked how the family, like especially in the last like few scenes of this, the family of the Endless is really just portrayed as a family. They're portrayed as normal people. Like they look and they act and they feel. I feel like they're just normal people. Like even though they're clearly not. Like they're like beings. They're concepts.
I'm gonna reflect on this because there's something that I was trying to. I'm sort of wrestling with.
Especially like
myself.
they're seen like with when they are first meeting New Dream.
So let's talk about that because I had that in my notes and I'm sort of like I'm looking at this and I feel like two things.
I feel like they've humanized as it's gone on.
Well, the thing is, you know, where they like now they're all like friendly with each other and before they were all nasty to each other.
Yeah, but that's what I think. I think it's because they've all changed because of the stuff they
learned from Dream.
Yeah. I think that they've all changed as a result of that.
Death has
not really changed as much because like she was kind of always like the most like human like.
Yeah, but the thing is,
rest of them
I was
have.
thinking, in a way, I was angry that they were so. Not that I didn't want them to welcome Daniel, but I'm like, what the hell? You're like so nasty to like the previous Dream.
But I think they were so nasty to him, and then he died. So I feel like
they learned from.
I think they learned from
that tragedy,
or at least they were not pleasant to him,
because they're all reflecting about how they wish they knew him better.
Yeah. So maybe they decided to,
and anyways, I'm going to talk a little bit about that because I have. Anyways, go ahead, keep going.
Yes, and then I thought it was interesting. I don't know if you noticed, but the boat that took his body away, it was like it's supposed to be like a swan, you know, but like it's his mask. Yeah,
it was beautiful.
And
that was brilliant. They don't do that in the comic books.
I don't think so.
I thought that was really well done.
I don't actually physically own that arc.
That part.
So I don't
You don't know when.
I can't reference that.
But very cool.
Yeah,
I
very cool.
I thought it was very nice.
And the whole like it went over the bridge and then the boat dissolved, but then his body like became like stars and stuff like that. Honestly, and that made me think about like how like the parents are time and night. So like he kind of became
he goes back because that's where they created him in the first place.
Sure.
So because he's the first iteration of Dream, from my understanding.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, so he's
going back to where he was formed, I guess, and he's like a star. And I guess because Destruction's out there somewhere too. I mean, he comes back, but that's where he's hanging out, right?
True. Yeah.
Touring the stars. Yeah. So maybe he's going to see his brother.
Maybe. And I don't know why. Like, I'm not very well versed in Shakespeare. I've read The Tempest, in reference to the conversation.
Yeah, I've read them all, but I can't remember them with enough detail to do the comparison.
Dream Daniel.
I don't.
It was The Tempest,
Prospero.
Right? That was The Tempest. Yeah. Okay, so it's just interesting the implication that Dream caused the Tempest or commissioned the Tempest.
I thought that was great.
This is interesting. Like,
I just thought that was just so cool. Like the whole concept, because he's trying. Yeah,
I don't know.
He's trying to write,
and the last
because
thing,
he feels like he has no story of his own. Like
sure,
that, so he wants to have a story about him, and then he isn't sure about the ending because he feels
even
like
Death was saying like, oh, like he said he was like the whatever
that he's an island
Lord
and he can't.
No, the thing that he was. I think Death was telling Hob that like Dream was saying like, oh, like I'm like the Lord of Stories or whatever, but I don't have any story of my own or whatever. Yeah, it's interesting that like he's doing a lot of stuff to make stories. Yeah, that he feels he has none. And then the last thing I said was that I don't think it was like this originally, but the walls in the palace, like when like Lucien it was Lucien walking Dream to the family gathering. They're all like white and blank, and I thought that was interesting. This is like a parallel to the fact that like nothing has been made by this new Dream yet.
Oh, maybe.
I don't know.
Because
I don't think they were originally like that.
I can't remember, but yeah, that might be a thing.
But like it was all like very like open
slate.
white blank. Yeah. Mm-hmm. It was interesting. Anyway, that was it.
That was it.
My
okay.
Yes.
All right. So let me go through. I'm going to try and not get lost in my notes.
Okay.
Because anyways. So some things I don't quite understand. That's what I wrote down. But I guess I need to suspend my disbelief a bit, as I've said that quite a few times here. I was taken aback a little bit by how the friends don't want to accept Daniel as the new Dream.
Well, because they were very attached to the old one.
Yeah, but still, I mean, they knew that this is what I'm going to call that one Morpheus because that's what his name is. Morpheus wanted. Mm-hmm. So, and that was planned for them so that they would be safe. So, right. So that there would be a dreaming and that they would be okay. And that he's duty bound to the end, right? Making sure that even if he's not there, the dreaming's there because the dreaming has a function and it needs to be there. Mm-hmm. So everyone's still going to be there. And as you can see at the funeral, all these people are dreaming themselves into the funeral. Mm-hmm. So, so there's that. And then they almost seem angry about it, and I think that's kind of mean to Daniel because I mean,
not everyone was.
This is what Morpheus wants. Corinthian is the best, it seems. Yeah. Glad to see Abel back and Merv, but I'm not sure why. They're still like feeling ambivalent to the new.
Oh no, I think Corinthian and Merv were probably the best in terms of like acceptance, and then Matthew was definitely like on the other end. And I feel
and
like
Abel was just like I'm back.
Yeah, I don't care.
He's just good. He's good with whatever.
Yeah, and then I think Lucien. I feel like Lucien probably has struggled the most.
Yeah, this is the thing. Like my next point is Lucien.
I think she still was like duty bound above all. I think like because like of course like
but I almost feel like she. So
like she definitely still cares. She cares about both of them. Like regardless.
But there was this fine line where she says that she's gonna leave because she doesn't want to do this again. Yeah. So it almost makes me feel like she was like hating her time with Dream, which is I'm not doing that again.
No, I interpret it more as like she felt like because like she was like very like tied to Morpheus's dreaming. Like she even stayed when he was like captured and stuff. Now that it's someone completely different, she's not really sure.
But what's her alternative? Where's she going to go?
Know.
Like that's the thing.
Well,
like she's
I think
not
the thing
human.
is she doesn't know.
Like she wasn't human.
Yeah.
She's got like the little pointy ears.
Well, we don't know.
She's got little pointy ears, so I don't think
know.
Unless they
maybe I don't know. But I feel like even she doesn't really know exactly what her future.
Doesn't she say that she doesn't really remember?
Yeah, she doesn't remember. She doesn't know. Yeah, because she was talking to Matthew.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway,
yeah.
so I'm kind of like, so there was that.
She did end up staying. That's I wasn't entirely clear about that, but she is going to end up staying.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, because she decided, and he makes her the prime minister.
Maybe she just needed a different, like a change.
Well, that's the change. Yeah. Maybe, I guess.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
But I guess she sees that she has different work to do with this dream,
sure.
so that this, and wants to help him.
Yeah.
Guide him through that.
Yeah. Yeah. That makes sense. Yeah.
And I guess making her prime minister would mean that she's got more influence or more powers, and she doesn't have to.
Well, I feel like she was kind of running the.
She was running the show anyways.
Yeah.
They made that clear. Mm-hmm. So she was the closest. Knew him the best. No one better to guide the new dream.
Mm-hmm.
So changed her mind when she saw that the new dream's attitudes were different. But I mean, she saw him changing anyway. So this should not be a surprise to her. So that's sort of the thing that I think. I didn't like, and then going on.
Yeah.
I didn't like the attitude that the fairy had when they saw Nuala. Like they just kind of like dismissed her. Like I thought that was kind of. I don't know what the point by that was, because even the queen gave her a blessing, and so that to me didn't make sense. But anyways, that's what happened.
I felt it was more like they treated her as not one of them, because I guess she's not anymore.
Yeah, but I mean, they knew. Like, anyways, I just felt like they gave her the cold shoulder for some reason. Like she did something wrong. Meanwhile, Tatiana said that she should. Anyways, I would have liked to actually have heard something from Nada.
Yeah, I mean, we saw her.
We saw her.
Yeah, we saw her. Yeah.
So she was at the funeral, right? Yeah. So, but I would have liked to have heard her. Her perspective on something.
I feel like maybe she.
Or maybe we
didn't have anything to say.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't change. Like she deserves to feel the way she felt, But I would have just liked to, it was just curious. Mm-hmm. And then here at the top, it's with lighting and costumes. Yes, yes, yes. Also, the barge was beautiful. Oh, and I guess the favorite was the night scene with Hob and Death on the bridge with the castle in the background and the lit at night. Mm-hmm. And that whole conversation that they had, I thought was very beautiful. Mm-hmm. And the whole concept about being human, and even though he feels like he's seen in everything, he still knows he hasn't, right? Like, because that's the thing.
Things are going to change, of course.
Because things are going to change. Because that's the thing about being human versus being an endless, right? Mm-hmm. So then looking at their speeches, so Destiny, blah. Like, I don't know. I feel nothing for that character. I mean, he never took an interest in his brother. And quite frankly,
no, I felt that he was a bit more like, because he pushed like Delirium to speak and stuff, and like.
Yeah,
but
I mean, if anyone's duty bound, I think he's the one that's most duty conscious. I think he was more duty conscious than Dream
like he doesn't
was.
even let. He's
just like
Delirium's like, oh, can I say what I say? And he's like. No.
And maybe that's why his father likes him the best, because he's just does what he's supposed to do, and I still don't even know what his powers are. All he does is go around and hold that book.
The book.
Like he doesn't.
I don't know.
That's the thing. It's just like I can't even like what. Okay. What's the point of being an endless when you can't do anything? Anyways, Desire realized his words hurt, and that he was petty, which I think is good, and he actually acknowledges the fact that he actually did care about his brother. Yeah, So there was that, and right down to the point where he knew his brother so well that he never had the sense to come in out of the rain. I thought that was an amazing, because he just didn't shy away from anything that was happening. So he never had enough sense to come in out of the rain, and I thought it was a beautiful phrase. And I think in a way he felt guilty, and that he said that he wouldn't rest until he spilled family blood, but I don't think he meant it. Mm-hmm. He just said it, and then he realized how words are you know what I'm saying? And whereas Dream, he always chose his words, like you know what I mean? He wouldn't say anything he didn't mean. So I think that was good. Despair, I mean I just loved everything that she said. I just put despair, but I guess I didn't pay enough attention to know that she had actually died as well. So she's not the first to spare. No. So that would be a story I'd like to hear. Okay, so that's something. I don't know if that's in the comic books anywhere.
No, I don't
That
think
would
so.
be something I'd
Not
like to
that I
learn
know.
about.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that would be something that would be cool to learn. Delirium, as always, knows more than she lets on, right? So she starts off pretty innocently, but then saying that, like, first she's always scared, but then I just realized he's just sad.
Yeah.
He's just sad all the
Yeah.
time. And then the thing is, like, first, I asked him questions and maybe he didn't know the answers, but he did know the answers. And that's might be why he was sad all the time. And that was, like, knowing what you're not having a story is one thing,
Sure.
but thinking that how it's all going to end anyways. Like, you know what I mean? Like I think he kind of, and that might have been why he was. Anyways, we could suppose, but that but thinking about what Delirium had said, so in a way he knew he was helpless, right, and knew how it was going to go. Death agreed that they were close, yes, and duty bound, that he felt that he has no say. Trapped by his duties, which is why he was always so upset with destruction, I think.
Yeah.
Because,
Sure, yeah.
if he's going to be trapped by his duties, and so his older brother should be as well, right? Whatever happens, that's what you got to answer for it. But so in a way, I think that Dream is braver than destruction.
I remember what the thing was that I wrote down that I couldn't read. It was the fact that now we have a confirmed, like, order in which they're old.
Oh,
Yeah.
their ages.
Yeah, their ages. Yeah.
So there you go. And I think that whole thing of visiting, like, he could have visited Dream in his castle, him saying, I've never been invited, but he wasn't invited this time either. Yeah. I guess maybe he was invited to the funeral.
Yeah,
But he didn't go to the funeral. But I guess this time he wanted to approach his newly formed brother in a different way. Because, they're not really... Because, before they were created by their parents, right? And in this case, he's not created by the parents.
Well, I feel like they kind of still are, like, as a concept.
I guess...
because, like...
in terms of function.
Like, we're saying that Despair is still their sister, but she's obviously not the first one. So, I guess they are.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Because she wasn't either.
It's interesting. I guess because it's just interesting. I think Daniel is more like Dream than he is Dan. Do you know? I think he's more Dream than he is, or Morpheus than he is Daniel, because Daniel was a baby, right? So Daniel baby doesn't have
Daniel
right
baby.
You know what I'm saying? He doesn't have like a wealth of experience to add to this. So that's the other reason he's so confused, because he doesn't have any experience to draw from, except for that of Morpheus, right? Okay, so what else did I say? Never came to visit. Okay, likely another reason that he couldn't understand his brother. The Dream couldn't understand his brother because of that.
Morpheus.
In the end, in the end, it was actually sad to see how the family's now completely different. Like, I was sad because I wish that
it took so much to get them to
that
be like
Morpheus could have experienced that, right?
Yeah, sure.
I'm glad that they've learned, and that there was that point to Morpheus's death, right? Because
it's a good ending,
right?
Yeah.
And now maybe
I just feel like we needed like more of a good ending after everything else happened.
It was just kind of like yeah. So it's so different with Dream, and I think Dream would have been better for having a family that because even you remember in the first season he said nobody came to help me when he was trapped,
or even like their family
Robert
meeting at the beginning
Burgess's
of this season.
Even Death didn't come and help him.
Because they were trying to get her, so I feel like if she came
but that's out of character. She you know what I'm saying? Like, nobody came to help him, and it's just like that was tragic. And like thinking about that. And then again, I said, why do they have to forget Dream? I just don't get that. Death and Despair won't, of course. I don't think any of them will.
No,
they won't,
so.
because that's why the family's changed. Maybe he taught them all about love, right? Lucienne definitely won't forget him. Is always going to be part of her. And again, why do I just don't get that part? Dream is Prospero. That's an interesting and tragic parallel there. Going back to the last episode, in 7, Time and Night, right? Trapped by wanting to please his parents in the end, and then in the end they didn't care about him. So that I think that made that Rain, like, I'm thinking about it. The Rain is his tears. He's crying.
Sure.
His soul in his soul. He's he's done. Morpheus was tired, and he just wanted to end it, and that's sort of coming back to that being on a suicide mission kind of thing.
Pretty much,
and then going back to Hob, He just keeps going because there's so many stories left for him, and it's interesting, and it would be interesting to see how that character develops. Hop. Like if there would be
I
more,
wish we had more Hop.
because eventually he's going to be
Hop.
around for, like, if he says like I want to stick around, like he could be around, like he's essentially immortal, and he can, imagine how much he could learn, right, from that, and what that would become eventually, right? So anyway, so that was that. So that was all I had for that. So am I leading into the last episode?
Yeah, the epilogue, I guess.
The epilogue.
Yeah.
So Sandman season 2, episode 12 or 23, Death, the High Cost of Living.
Yeah.
I'm glad, because like from the first season where Death says that she does this, I was intrigued. I wanted to see how that works.
Yeah.
I was curious about that.
I don't remember, like, I know I'm pretty sure there was a comic that was titled that, and I know I've definitely read one in, like, one of the collections that was about, like, Death's Day Off, but I don't remember it very well, and I don't know if this was completely original or not.
Yeah, I don't know.
Like, I think
but from my perspective,
I don't think it was, but I'm not 100%.
Like,
either way, I don't know anything.
I wish they could keep it coming, and the world.
I would watch a Death spin-off series. I would.
Well,
like, I mean, it's technically Dead Boy Detectives, but like, I would watch that.
Well, I'd like to learn a little bit more about all of them, as to, But anyway, so I was glad to see it, because I was thinking about it. It shows that she has little control over what happens, yet still knows, right? So she still knows about everybody, because she talks about. Like she knew about the pills.
Everyone,
she knows about this person's thing. She knows
so
she's
does,
so she knows all of it. She refers to her big brother, so I'm assuming she means Destiny there.
Yeah.
But he seems to have little control over things. So again, Destiny. I think he's such a weird sort of paradox. But I'm just like, But does he influence so that she can get free food for the day? Like,
no, and I think it's just her.
Maybe I don't know, but the
thing
thing is,
season 1 too, when Dream was with her.
But the thing is, if you think about, like, these, do they have influence in the world, right?
They do, yeah.
Well,
no, because I think that's going back to the conversation that Delirium and Dream were having, like, about, like, she was saying, like, oh, if we stood under a street lamp and looked at a bolt of lightning, people would stand under there for hundreds of years afterwards.
But the thing is, like,
and they wouldn't know why, but they would do it anyway, just because we did it.
But with Death being alive for a day, she's actually in the world where she can have change people's destiny. Do you know what I mean? So because now she's interacting as a human, and she's in the in the cosmic sort of scheme of the whole humanity thing, because now she's included in that for these single days every 100 years, right? So I just think that is interesting, because she can now change people's destiny, whereas the other ones can't.
Destiny, but
she did in a way. I mean, like, maybe he would have killed himself that day.
But with the conversation that she was having with Sexton in the basement thing, like, she said, like, like, humans they make the choice to keep going every day. They make that, they have free will. So.
Yeah, but this is a conversation that people have all the time.
Yeah.
Does anybody really have free will?
I mean, obviously she thinks that they do.
I don't know. So I mean, it's kind of an interesting thing. Yeah. So I was just thinking about that. So now she's moving through the world, but she does now affect Destiny. So it's interesting that Destiny lets her do that. Do you know what I mean? Because but I guess that in the cosmic scheme of things, in the reality of this, story. That's factored into all of it. Yeah, maybe. Do you know what I mean?
Or maybe she's not in terms of her. Maybe it
book.
is Destiny that she is doing everything.
I don't know.
Knows?
I don't know whatever.
No one knows.
Whatever it is inside his crazy little book.
Actually, even he doesn't know. He doesn't know until he reads it.
So knows that Sexton plans to end his life. Knows that the other one tried to end her life because she had a terrible life. Yeah, I feel like she sort of like is a nexus, and she brings these people together. And then I said, trying to get. Yet she knows people, and she knows that. Theo, because he summoned her. Yeah. But she didn't seem to realize. She didn't seem to realize that he summoned her there, which was the thing that I found.
He tried to, yeah.
So because she knows about people, she didn't know that. So that's where it was like, well, what do you mean? You would know, but anyway. So that's, again, I was overthinking it. and he wanted to, Death to bring back Natalie. And to be honest, at first I was getting confused between Natalie and Sylvie.
Because they're both people we have no idea.
Yeah, and at first I was thinking that he had a relationship with Sylvie. And
I was thinking that as well. But
right, but no,
not,
it was Natalie. It's two different people. I was like, wait a minute, that's a different person. So we never get to see Sylvie. But somehow Sexton sees him as brokering the lifestyle that he doesn't like, and that he's unaware, as here I said, unaware that his ex was killed, but unaware that his Natalie was dead. Natalie died, so nobody knows yet that Theo's girlfriend is dead. Then what's her name was a good match. I still Jackie. I can't read my own writing. Jackie was a good match for him, and Death kind of brought them together. And anyway, I just thought that's kind of like Dream bringing the Corinthian and Joanna together.
Yeah, I guess kind of
like matchmakers. Oh my god! But that sort of keeps him going and gives him a reason to keep going, and that comes back to Hetty, because the reason Hetty keeps going is because that picture is her daughter, and that's her reason for living in a way. So that's her soul. It's not like I was thinking, what do you mean you're asking, so you're asking Death to give you the reason for living, right? That's really what was happening there. I didn't quite get it at first. It's like, that sounds idiotic to go get, have Death go find your soul for you. But that was her reason for living.
Destruction was saying, like, they all define their opposites. So Death defines life.
Yeah, so, I guess.
And that's why she's like so determined to have people keep living.
But that's why Hetty needed to be there, because that was her reason.
Well, no, I understand Hetty in this episode, but just in general,
the other
rest
episode.
of this.
Oh yeah, yeah. It was interesting that she had to sort of force Death to do that by taking Sexton as a thing. Anyways, I noted, and I don't know if you noticed this, but Death's makeup. Right, so when she was alive, she looked more alive. Do you know what I mean? She had like the makeup choice.
Oh, I did not notice that at all.
Her cheeks looked more rosy.
The only thing I noticed is that like the little like design in one of her eyes.
There's that.
I think it's probably supposed to be like the eye of Horus, eye of Ra type thing. That's
I just noticed that she looked more vibrant. As a living Death, do you know what I mean? Like they consciously made her cheeks more flushed, and she looked more vital. Yeah. Maybe just because she was having so much joy being alive for the day, so that I feel like they made a choice there with the makeup. Okay. So I said, noted Death's makeup, living Death has, rosier cheeks. Oh, and then the significance of the Superman thing. Like, I know it's DC, so they could do that, but why did they choose Superman? Like, the Superman magnet.
I just thought it was because it's DC, because of DC.
I don't know, but there was something, there's got to be a reason that they chose Superman. Yeah. I mean, they could have chose Batman. You know what I mean? Like, they chose Superman. And then there's the Superman magnet, and there was a Superman cup at the end.
The whole thing about Superman is hope and humanity.
I guess maybe that's why.
And that's what basically this whole episode was about, like hope.
Yeah, I just thought it was an interesting choice that they used it. And so there was a cup at the end, at the very end, where he deleted his
thing.
The beginning,
you saw in the beginning too.
I didn't see the cup at the beginning.
It was the same cup.
I saw the cup at the end. Or I'm aware of the cup at the end. I won't say I saw it. I just kind of cheated, but yeah. So there was there was that aspect of the cup for Superman, and that was all I had to say. Okay, that was it for me. Yeah. I thought it was a good. I liked it because it sort of answers some questions that I had from the first season about what does Death do on that day. It was something that I was curious about. So, okay, your turn.
Yeah. Okay. Well. Okay, my favorite thing that I wrote down, I swear I recognize Sexton's shirt from somewhere.
It reminds me of,
I don't know what it reminds me of.
It reminds me of, I think it's Punisher. That's what it reminds me of.
Is it?
That's what it reminds, it's not, but it reminds me of
that. Is that DC?
I don't know. I don't know.
It's not supposed to be. I don't know. I just feel
I don't think so. I don't think it's Marvel.
Obviously, the meta take is that it's a skull and then Death and whatever. But
yeah, no, it reminds me of Punisher, and I'm sure that there is a reason for that.
And I just know it reminds me of something, and I don't know what it is. That is just frustrating.
That's what it reminded me of. Okay. I don't know if it's supposed to remind me.
I don't know. I don't think it's supposed to,
but it reminded me of that.
I don't know. Yeah, and I actually noticed that the main theme, the theme that you hear right at the beginning and right at the end, it's the main the whole Kingdom of Dreams theme, the main theme of the series really. But it's it's different. It's more upbeat, more moving forward and that type of thing. So
I'm not yet, and at this point I'm not really sure if this is happening after Morpheus' death.
I don't think it matters.
Before. I mean, I guess it doesn't.
Yeah.
But I'm just I don't know.
I don't think it matters. Yeah, I don't think it matters. But yeah. Anyway, yes, I'm not.
No, it doesn't matter.
Not really sure. Not really sure about that. But yeah, anybody noticed that with the theme. I said haha Superman because they're DC. I don't know if that is because they're DC, but they are DC. But it's funny. Anyway, yeah, I just thought it was interesting in like when Deathfist brings Sexton to her apartment, and like he's like, oh, like who are you, and that type of thing. Oh, what do you do? And she's just avoiding the question, and she's like, oh, I am very good at sewing, and that type of thing, because she knows it will make things really awkward. And then like,
well, she could have lied, but I guess it's not her style. It's not on brand for her. She doesn't lie.
Yeah, she knew it would make things really awkward, and then like she was right, like, okay, bye. as soon as she was like, oh yeah, I just thought that was funny. And like the fact that she's so like open about everything, like, and people just go with it, like people just give her stuff, and like it, and like even like the guy who's selling like the wraps and whatever, he was like, well, something.
Yeah, but I felt really bad that afterwards, like the taxi drive, and she's like, you're really gonna give it, okay, it's 60 quid or whatever it was. It's just like,
well, I think
it's just like, oh, that's mean.
You know, like I thought that was meant to be funny, but I don't know. I just thought it was
I guess it was supposed to be funny.
She makes people feel happy to be alive, I guess, because they're. Yeah, it's just interesting. Yeah, I thought that was nice. That was funny. And even like the I wrote that. Of course, she knows. Like I feel like she was trying really hard to keep Sexton alive, especially like it's the timing of her showing up and like the fact that like
I feel like I feel like that is,
and the whole thing was
or destiny brought them together. Like I feel like, do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
this
like the whole thing was almost a roundabout way of convincing him that like, oh, like there's still stuff that makes life worth living. Like that's like literally the whole thing, the whole point of this episode. And I also, like, in addition to that, I really thought like Jackie and Sexton, I thought that was really cute. I thought it was nice. Yeah, that was nice.
She has a tragic story. But...
Yeah, but I thought it was nice. Can
you imagine? And then her father is in the hospital room. Oh my god.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Oh god. Anyways.
Yeah. And I also like the conversation that they had, that Death and Sexton had in the storeroom. Like the whole like
setting
the whole,
up
like,
the marbles at the end.
The marbles, and he looked at it. Oh, that was terrible timing. Yeah, but the whole thing about like the choosing to live and like the fact that people have free will, but the endless kind of like I feel like the endless almost, I think they have more free will than they realize. Yeah, but in a way, like I feel like they think that they don't, but I feel like
they can't just walk away.
Well,
I mean, that's
no, they do.
Except for
Destruction did that. He could. Anyone.
Destruction
could,
still
all
goes.
Of them could do
still
that.
goes
and
on. I mean, I guess in a way, everything's going to get written down in Destiny's stupid book.
The thing is, so in the
whether
comics,
it's there or not.
In the comics, the one that I read about, like basically this situation, like Death having a day off and that type of thing. The reason that she has a day off is because once she did just walk away and things were terrible. It was horrible. Like it was like basically they had to restart the universe over, pretty much. From what I remember, it basically did not end well. So that's why because she got so like depressed with her job and stuff. She was like, why am I even doing this? And she just left. So like they can and they can't leave. Like certain ones I guess can.
Well, when Dream was imprisoned for 100 years, that didn't go. That didn't go
over well either. Yeah. Anyway, I just thought I liked that the conversation that they had in the storeroom, but wondering if they really do have free will. But yeah, and I was thinking that like at the end when the person who was selling jewelry actually did charge her, I thought that maybe she was charged for Hetty's like soul. Because, like, I guess she was almost done with life. Like, aside from it, like, being a plot point. Like, I thought because, like, she was almost, like, her time was almost up. So, like, her like, death not paying for anything free card had almost run out. I don't know. But that was what I had to say. That was my thoughts about that. But.
Well, at the end, there's a lot that, I guess thinking back on the both
seasons.
Was
a longer episode, actually.
The
runtime, yeah.
It was definitely a longer episode.
Yeah, it was almost an hour long, yeah.
Yeah,
we were talking when we were watching it, you were like,
because I was like, this is a long episode.
I was like, no, it was. No, it's not.
Not that I was bothered by it.
Was.
I just was like, just because there was a lot that happened.
That's an interesting choice to make that one the longer episode.
Well,
maybe because it needed to be a complete story.
Needed to end it. Yeah, but sure. Anyways, and that was the bonus episode, So reflecting back on the series, the 2 seasons.
Yeah,
And I mean,
sure.
I'm not immune to seeing what people are putting online, and they could have made another season, and
No,
you
they
know.
couldn't have made another season. They finished
Well, they
it.
could have fleshed out the stories and didn't put
Well,
them
but
all
then
into.
another complaint is that it drags on too much. So then that would make it even worse if they.
Yeah, I don't think that.
I don't
I
know.
think it was fine. Like, I mean, I don't feel like I'm missing anything. The things that I feel like I'm missing are the background stories about.
Yeah, but we don't get that anyway.
But so
Yeah.
that's where I would,
Yeah.
I would love for them to be able to expand on that. Like, I mean, I think like, why is everybody like this towards Dream, and then what happened to Delirium, and then what happened to Despair.
But we don't actually know that.
And we don't know. Like, I mean, these are all places that I would like to see some filling in, or even with Morpheus's son. What's his name? Orpheus. Orpheus. It's like Morpheus. Orpheus.
Yeah.
Orpheus and Lady Joanna Constantine.
Yeah.
Right.
I thought that ran its course.
Yeah, but I kind of would have liked to see a little bit more about that, and then,
Okay.
what was that, like, it doesn't have to be a whole series, but I would like to see, like, even like one of these special episodes again, because, then what would, Orpheus do when Joanna died? Like, you know what I mean? Like, it would be a nice little, I'm just curious. Like, so there's like all kinds of little things that I think that they could do with this, maybe not have 11 episodes on a story arc, but even just in terms of, like, a series of small things that explain these things, and
Maybe,
and just because there's opportunity there, because I still have questions, which is why I felt really. Because one of the big questions that I had from season 1 is like, what happens when Death has her day off? So you see what I mean? Like, they did a nice little arc to sort of show how a typical day off could go, or they could do like a whole bunch of Death's day off, and do like a whole series of Death's day off. Like, I mean, there's a lot of potential that they could do with these characters, because they're great characters. But yeah, so that's sort of. But in terms of the story arc. I think I feel satisfied. I don't feel like there's anything.
Yeah, because that was the story arc, pretty much.
Yeah, the only thing that when it comes to Dream, like, why did it take so long for him to start changing? Because basically he starts changing over the course of Hobbs' extended life.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? That's sort of. I feel like that sort of was the instigating factor.
Well, I think that the catalyst for him beginning to change was like season 1. Like, we saw what happened with him in season 1, and then
but I think that the seeds were planted with Hobb, right? Because he wanted to see if this person would want to stay alive forever, right? And that's sort of why they had a bet, right? That he wouldn't want to do that. Now, what did they say, that this 1 year or something? What did they say to each other at the beginning? They both had a timeline where they think that how long he would last.
Yeah.
So
the end of the century or something like that.
I can't remember what it was, but I just thought it was interesting. So, but I feel like that period of time in which Hobb was part of his existence. Yeah. That was when he really started to change, and he started to see things in a different way.
Because I feel like, in a sense, almost Hobb is like his like Dream's anger to mortality, or
I
humanity.
Guess maybe.
I guess, like, aside from Daniel. Like,
yeah.
But like, before he was Daniel, but
yeah, like I just find it. Anyways, so that's sort of my thoughts. I don't know.
Okay.
Anything else to say?
No.
Okay.
No.
All right. So I guess we'll end here. I don't know what else we're doing. So this series of podcasts on Sandman are going to be sprinkled in through other things, and some of them I don't even know what we're going to do yet. So so if you're listening, thank you. And I don't know what else came before this one, because I'm actually not sure.
Probably Andor.
No, Andor will be done by the time you see this one.
Something.
So there'll be some other stuff. We're looking forward. We're hoping that there's going to be a Christmas special for Doctor Who. I don't know. So I don't know, but that might appear before this episode. The way we have things planned out right now.
If there's not, then I have no idea.
We're gonna see. We'll see.
Well, you will know, but we don't know yet.
Know. But yeah, so please keep listening, and if you listen to this part and this podcast, we want to thank you. And as always, we want to thank you for being part of the Birds on Power Lines podcast.